Welcome all, Raymond for Stream Gamers. Here we are departing Minnewanka Lake, right at the junction of Minnewanka and Jack Lake in Alberta, near Banff, Alberta. 2024 Alpha Edition. I thought I would release another video from a different part of the world. The previous one was through the Grand Canyon, and this is going to be flying up the valley for Banff, Moraine Lake, and Lake Louise. We're going to be making a turn here, and we're going to be in view right now is Stewart Canyon. That'll take us over through Stewart Canyon. And directly behind that Stewart Canyon, and we're kind of sort of turning toward it now, out in that direction, just kind of over that rise over there, I believe it is, maybe returning a little bit more, but up in that direction is where Banff, Alberta is. I didn't get a very good shot of the city or the town of Banff. Mostly I didn't because the town is not very well laid out. I suspect it'll be better in the sim. Keep in mind this is an alpha edition, and some of the towns and cities may not be as nicely done as you would expect or anticipate them to be. So we're going to fly along here. I'm going to narrate a little bit, and then I'm going to pause and just kind of let the video kind of go, and where I see it necessary to narrate again, we'll add a little more commentary. It's a good time to hit the like button, and if you have a comment, make note of it. I would appreciate a comment on the video. I've heard other content creators say we put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and we do, but this is our choice. We're not forced to do that. But it's never been more evident to me as I begin and learn my YouTube craft. It's never been more evident that statement is really, really true. Right, enough of me. Let's just enjoy the view. And like I said, I'll pop in from time to time and just add some commentary, for things that I find necessary to add in. For those that wonder where we took off from CKYA, Charlie Kilo Yankee 8, not A, 8, and I landed on that sandbar by Jack. It's called To Jack Lake, actually, and Lake Minnewanka. There's kind of they're two kind of lakes that are kind of sort of joined together there, and so I took off from there and landed on that sandbar. I had a previous video where I had actually showed that. I may actually bring that into a video, a future video. Back to the flying. This directly below us is Banff, Alberta. I didn't spend a lot of time getting down lower. It just wasn't nicely as nice as you would expect it to be done. But like I say, it will hopefully be improved upon as the final release comes out. we are continuing our flight. The valley that we're flying through is called Bull Valley. There's a river there as well, so it's called Bull River. That river that you see off to the left there, that's a part of the Bull River. Yeah, so that's the valley that we're flying down. So those that want to maybe replicate the flight in 2020 or in 2024 when it comes out, again, we took off from Charlie. I'm going to get there again. We took off from Charlie Kilo Yankee 8, and then we flew up that valley. We landed on Two Jack Lake and Minnewanka, and then we departed again, and then we went over the Ryzen up into the Bow Valley. It'll be interesting to note the ground and everything else that you're seeing here. Mostly it's summer-like, as it should be. The time of this recording is October 12th, so it should be summer-like, lots of green and so forth, and stuff like that. But some of the scenery is maybe not as accurate as it might or as it should be. Now, of course, I wasn't in this location at the time of recording, so I don't know that for a fact, but I'm seeing what appears to be traces of snow, or maybe ground textures are a little too white-ish, sandy-ish looking than it should be, because like that road there off to the left is white-ish, kind of suggesting there's snow down on the ground. And I wouldn't think October 12th you would see snow. Now, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 has got a new weather engine, and it is dynamic, it is ever changing, so maybe this is just not a completely perfect iteration of what it should be. Maybe it improves itself when we get to the full release. However, I will say I find the scenery spectacular, as I have in all of the 2024 Alpha Edition. It's just been incredible, and likewise here I find the scenery just incredibly beautiful. The tablet that you see on the right hand side is an accurate tablet. As you can see, it's showing accurate-ish terrain detail, and there are times where it is showing the aircraft flying in there, and then there's times where it's not, and I wasn't able to figure out what was the series of buttons to be pushed in order to make that show live aircraft all the time. I'm sure there was something that I could have done to make that work. I just I couldn't figure it out in a short, limited amount of time that I had for this particular video that I was going to shoot, so I didn't. When 2024 actually comes out, I'll probably do a series of videos there kind of showing controls and uniqueness. I won't be the only one doing it, but you'll be getting it from my perspective. So off in the distance there, we can start to see what appears to be snow. Now, I believe I'm right around 6,000 feet of elevation. So again, I wasn't here October 12th. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know if I've ever been in the Banff Lake Louise area around October 12th. I can only compare it to my current weather where I live in central Canada. And we do not, at the time of this recording, November 1, have snow on the ground. And it would seem odd that there would be snow on the ground here. Keep in mind, this is 6,000 feet-ish of elevation, I think, or is it 5,100? I can't quite make that out, but it was somewhere in that area. But it appears that there's snow on the ground. If you are in this area, if you have enough knowledge of the area and the weather patterns and so forth, by all means, put a comment down in the section and let me know whether or not my assessment of the live weather is accurate or not, because we can clearly see snow on the ground. I'm kind of tinkering around with the tablet again. I'm trying to find if I can find this spot where I can have the aircraft showing on ground in the tablet. I mean, the idea there is that I believe the aircraft is kind of right in the center, like you assume that that's where it is. So if we look at the center of that image, that's probably where the aircraft actually is. Now, I understand that there is no live traffic in the sim at this point, so we're not congested with other people flying around. There is real-world traffic in the air. We don't see any of it. We don't have nameplates enabled. I couldn't even figure out where they were, although I didn't really look for it. So, anyways. But we can see that the lack of stutters, again, there is no stutters. It's butter smooth. I should have said in the beginning of the video, but I'll give you the specs of my computer that runs all of this. I have a Ryzen 7 5800X3D, RTX 4080. Graphics card and 32 gigabytes of DDR4 3600 megahertz memory. I'm running a Samsung NVMe M.2 drive for this. So those are the specs. I'll also include those specs within the comment section of when I post the video. Just I know that that's something that people very much want to know, and it's relevant when we're talking about performance or the lack thereof. Now we see here there isn't this huge presence of snow. There was a little bit there, but it wasn't this huge presence of snow. And I don't know, maybe I was crossing a ridge where there was snow, but here I don't see this huge presence of snow. So as a side note, this valley, the Bow River Valley, my wife and I were up here. We were on our way through to Vancouver Island, and we came up through here. So we did drive through here. It was, I think it was in mid-July, I believe. We drove up here. I think it's relatively, if my memory isn't failing, I think it's relatively close to what we remember seeing. Now, of course, we weren't watching as much. We're pulling our big fifth wheel RV through here, and so I'm probably more focused on driving than I am on scenery. Although my wife would have probably been taking just a whack load of pictures. I might try to find some of those pictures. It might add some context to some of these videos as I do, but the scenery is incredible. It was incredible on the road trip, as it is incredible here in 2020. I think we are potentially coming upon one of our first looks at. I think off to the right is Moraine Lake. Or is that, no, I take that back. That might be Lake Louise. We might be a little ahead of time here. I'll pause until I know for a fact that we're getting there. So, Lake Louise has arrived. Lake Louise is one of those destinations I suggest around the world that are interesting to people. Lots of tourism. The turquoise lake, snow-capped mountains that you see there above the lake. It's quite a picturesque kind of a thing. Lots of scenery, lots of hiking, and those sorts of things. There's a huge gondola that'll take you up to the mountain peaks, skiing, snowboarding, all of those wonderful things. All you need to really do is just take a couple of moments and do a search about Lake Louise, and you'll very quickly see that it's quite stunning. It's one of those things that just brings in tourists, like I say, from around the world, coming to visit this place. We're going to just fly up the down the valley on our way back a little bit, and that will take us into Moraine Lake, and we'll briefly talk about Moraine Lake here in a moment. Right. We are relatively close to Moraine Lake. So Moraine Lake will have these turquoise lakes and stuff like that, and it's nestled in the valley of the 10 Peaks. So if you look off in the distance, you can see the beginning stages of those 10 peaks that are off there out in the valley. We're just starting to see a hint of the lake there off in the distance. And we're going to get closer and closer to it. And when we do, you'll be able to see maybe how beautiful that lake actually is. Again, the buildings and that kind of stuff haven't been placed in there very well. I'm sure there'll be creators and content creators and so forth that will address that in time, whether it be freeware or payware versions of it, but you'll get a better look at it. I'm in awe and the stunning beauty that we see here in front of us. It's just absolutely incredible, and it will only magnify itself further. And so here we are. waters are quite. The water is just. It's quite stunning. I live in the prairies, and as such, we don't see this type of water. We have a lot of water in where I live, but we don't see these turquoise lakes, mountains, snow caps, and all of that stuff. And so I get to see this kind of stuff. It's just it's quite amazing for us, for me. Further down there should be a little village, and it's not well placed. I was attempting to land here on this road. That was my original thought, is on that road I was going to land, and I was going to call the video a day. But, I decided to end it all here in the trees, apparently. And then decided, nah, I guess I won't take off out of the trees. Anyways, appreciate all of your views and likes and comments, and continue to do so. That would be greatly appreciated. It's Raymond for Stream Gamers. Thank you very much.